And hello everyone. Today we'll be looking at yesterday's assignment that we did in class, or you did on your own, and I introduced in class. I'll be giving you the correct answers. If you have not yet turned it in, I will be reducing the maximum grade since I'm giving you the answers here. You need to get your work in on time. This is just, many of you got into the habit of turning things in late, and that's just not reasonable. You had plenty of time to get the work done. I gave you about 35 minutes to answer the questions, and we did review them rather carefully in class. So the political cartoon, basically what is the interpretation of it? You could just say the people are pushing for change, Metternich is trying to hold them back. That's the first sentence, and then you might explain the different ideas, the different classes of peoples, and the expression on Metternich's face as he's very frustrated holding them back. He does not like what's happening in Austria. The second question is, what are some of the negative outcomes of nationalism? And some of them might be racism can involve, especially for those who are not native to the area. Intolerance to new ideas, just being set in your mind and not accepting any change, and not mindful that there is another world and that they have differences, and trying to respect those differences. You can still have your own ideals and values, but the idea is to not just totally discount other ideas. Let's look at some of the other questions. Some of the areas that revolted in this time frame. You have Spain, Greece, Belgium, Russia, Austria, Serbia. Any of those would have been fine. The next, I'm sorry, I skipped a question. Oh, no, I didn't. Number 4, what traits did Philippe have that made him popular? He interacted with the people. He dressed like them. He spoke with them. He mingled with them. He recognized they had put him into power. And he had plebiscites, which is direct democracy in action, and he gave many more people to vote. It is estimated that about 200,000 people participated in the votes that Napoleon had launched, the initial launch, right after and during the French Revolution. 9 million people voted in the election of Louis Philippe. So you can see that democracy is really taking hold in France, or democratic ideals. In what ways was Napoleon, how are the revolutions of Belgium and Poland different? Well, very simple. Belgium succeeded, Poland didn't. Belgium had widespread report. Poland never quite caught power, and it was put down, and their land was ceded to Russia. In what ways was Napoleon similar to his uncle? He became very obsessed with gaining power. He declared himself an empire, and he gathers all the power into himself, so he had that big ego. Finally, the last section, France sneezes, Europe catches a cold. And the idea is that France was the big dog in Europe. They had a lot of wealth, they had a lot of power. Even though Napoleon had fallen and they had retreated, the ideas of the revolution still were very powerful, and they kept spreading from France to the rest of the world. France had made so many changes in Europe because of Napoleon, especially with how law was handled, that there was real equality for the law. You couldn't hide behind your power. And the idea of meritocracy, that if you were good at something, you succeeded. So that's the review of yesterday's homework. Again, if you hand it in late, I will give you credit for participation, but you will not get full credit. Now, some of you did answer all 7 questions, but you had answers wrong, so I didn't give you extra credit also. I just gave you more credit on the assignment. Today's lesson will be focusing on introducing vocabulary. You need to use this time to get familiar with the textbook. Look at the certain terms. You might want to look ahead to the questions that are for tomorrow and make sure that you can answer them. We will be discussing tomorrow's comprehension questions in class. Today is just going to be an introduction, reviewing where we are, talking about the vocabulary terms. So you can watch this, and the meeting will be very short. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.